Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Wealth Conversation podcast with me, Tsitsi Mutiti. I guide high-achieving women on their journey to build lasting wealth so they can prepare for an abundant future in every area of their life. I hope that today's episode will help you to transform your relationship with money so you can make the choices that will enable you to create the opportunities and lasting wealth that you desire. Let's get straight into this week's episode. This is the fourth episode of the Wealth Cornerstone Series. In episode 1, I revisited what physical and mental well-being means to some of my previous guests. Episode 2 is focused on spiritual well-being, and episode 3 shined a light on social well-being. In this episode, I focus on what financial well-being means to some of my previous guests. But before we get into this week's episode, if this is your first time listening to the Wealth Conversation podcast, you may be asking yourself, what are the Wealth Cornerstones? Well, I believe that we all have the desire to create wealth on our own terms, and that this can be achieved once you are clear on what wealth truly means to you in the following 5 areas of your life: physical, mental, spiritual, social, and financial. Listen to parts 1, 2, and 3 of the Wealth Cornerstone series to learn how my previous guests define physical, mental, spiritual, and social well-being. Now let's remind ourselves of what financial well-being means to some of my guests. In part 3 of this series, we heard Michelle Lamble's definition of social well-being. Michelle loves pensions, and she has a passion for providing financial advice, guidance, and education to everyone, regardless of their gender, age, or current circumstances. She is a chartered financial planner and a certified financial coach who specializes in all aspects of pensions, including pensions on divorce, retirement planning, and investments. Michelle's definition of financial well-being is as follows.
Financial well-being, for me, being wealthy in that area is being comfortable enough and protected enough to make choices in my life that are in line with my values and doing the things I'd like to do.
Head over to episode 16 to learn more about Michelle and how she supports her clients with all aspects of pensions. Up next is yoga instructor Kinga Kovach. She teaches yoga as a holistic practice, offering a safe space, nurturing and guiding students into self-exploration, building deeper self-awareness where they can rediscover their inherent full potentials as a unique part of this cosmos and feel fully alive and well physically, mentally, and emotionally. Kinga told me in episode 22 that financial well-being means as follows.
For me, financial well-being is being comfortable financially and planning for the future. So you're going to be comfortable in the future as well. So I had a really funny relationship in the past with money, and I think that's because of my parents. I never wanted to worry about money, so I never really cared about it. And therefore I piled up some loans from uni, and then when I came here, I was like, oh my God, I used my credit card like not sensibly, let's just say that. So I piled up quite a bit of debt, not a lot, but quite a bit. And then there was a shift that I wanted to think about the future. Like it kind of just hit me that what's going to happen in the future, you know, not just in the next couple of years, but like, you know, if I want to have a family, if I want to have this, if I want to even retire and things like that. So then I kind of shifted and I thought like I need to sort myself out. So with the help of others, I managed to clear that debt. And then I started to think about, oh, I want to buy a place. I want to do this. I want to do that. So, and that shift, once you kind of move from debt to actually having some money, that's so powerful. And that's just got me excited. It's like, you know what, then let's just work with that. And so for me now, it's all about the future, to have that comfort, that knowing that you have something to fall back on. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it's just having that comfortable situation, but only you can do it. And I remember my brother was saying to me once, like years and years ago, Dad, Kinga, you might not have a partner and you might not have family right now. And it's probably easier if you guys do it together. But for now, just sort yourself out. So you're going to be ready for it anyway. So financially, you're going to be ready for it anyway, whether it happens or not, but at least you're sorted and you're ready for it. And that was the moment when it just hit me that, I need to get my act together and be a bit more serious.
Moving on, Tiritoga Gambe is a wealth manager based in Zimbabwe. And he told me in episode 9 that financial well-being means the following to him.
Financial well-being is to have the freedom to live the life to afford the life that you want. And like you said, money means something different from some people. For some people, it's just having the kind of money to be able to take your kids to their sports team after work, right? For me, it's just to afford the life that I want.
To listen to my conversation with Tiritoga, head over to episode 9, titled Limiting Knowledge and Your Wealth. Emma Gosling is a clinical hypnotherapist and mindset mentor. She supports high-achieving and over-giving female founders and executives to stop shortchanging themselves and have more time, fun, and money without the guilt. Financial well-being means the following to Emma.
Financial wealth is having all my needs covered, physical needs, physiological needs, all those other needs that I mentioned, and then having choice and freedom. So how many hours do I want to work? Where do I want to spend my money? And how can I give back?
You can learn more about Emma and the work she does in episode 8, titled Overgiving, When Generosity Undermines Your Financial and Emotional Health. The final contribution for part 4 of the Wealth Cornerstone Series comes from Jatia Jones. Jatia Jones is fondly known as your business coach's secret weapon, and she is the founder of Jatia Jones Consulting. Jatia is a visionary with the ability to facilitate clarity and dream transformation. She currently serves as the CEO of Jatia Jones Consulting, a boutique consulting firm where she empowers entrepreneurs to confidently show up and boldly stand out in the marketplace, therefore increasing their income and impact. Jatia's definition of financial well-being is
freedom. I have the freedom to do. I have the freedom to help. I have the freedom to impact. I have the freedom and the opportunities and the resources. It provides so much freedom. Like the young kids say, you move funny when your money's funny. And so actually have the freedom to move freely and do those things that I want to do. Food is big for me. So I'm always like, I want to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I have the freedom to really do that.
If you are looking for clarity in any area of your life, then you should listen to my full conversation with Jatia Jones. This is episode 3, titled Why Clarity is Important. So there you have it, 5 definitions of financial well-being. I hope that this episode will help you to create your own unique definition of what wealth truly means to you. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Connect with me at The Wealth Conversation on Facebook and Instagram so we can continue the discussion. Also, if you enjoy tuning into this podcast, make sure to leave a rating and review everywhere you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Until next week, Stay focused on becoming the designer of your financial future.